Hi guys, welcome to Design and Modeling. This presentation is going to go over some basics about myself, the class, kind of what we're going to be covering, grading, and then general expectations just for the classroom. So a little bit of information about me. The best way to contact me is going to be email or coming down to see me during East time. That does include if you happen to be out or miss something, send the email or come in the day you return during East time, and we can kind of figure out how you're going to get the work made up. I have 12 years of teaching experience, so this is the beginning of year 13 for me. I am licensed to teach middle school and high school math, middle school and high school science, and specifically physics and chemistry. I'm licensed to teach elementary, and then I also had to go back to Purdue to get the 3 different certifications for the different Project Lead the Way classes that are taught for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I have one son. His name is Stone, and he starts 3rd grade this Wednesday. A couple of fun things about him: he absolutely loves baseball. He played on 4 different teams throughout the spring and summer. And so we spent pretty much the entire summer at various baseball fields. And then something else, he stands out a little bit when he's with the team or they do a team picture. He is the tallest kid, always has to be the one standing in the back because he's 4'11" tall right now. All right, some class expectations. Your Bluetooth should be on your iPad at all times. That will allow me to monitor your iPad screen, kind of give you your personal space. But I can also give you the nice little gentle reminder by switching your iPad screen if you happen to get off topic. I'm also able to monitor the progress of your work and see how you're doing, see how you're understanding what we're going through. So it's very helpful for me as well. Water bottles are permitted in the classroom, but not at the computers. For a very large portion of this class, we will work on the computers. So what I will ask is that you always keep your water bottle at the black lab tables. If you need a drink on a day we're at computers, you just get back up, walk over to the lab table, get your drink, leave it there, and then head back to the computers. Because it is a lab classroom, there's not going to be any eating in this room. So that includes suckers, any types of food, other candy, gum, all of that is not permitted in this classroom. Each day that you come in, I would like you to have these 3 things with you. Always have your iPad. If your iPad happens not to be charged, bring your charger with you. There's plenty of locations in my classroom for you to be able to plug that in, so bring it with you. A pencil or pen, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. The color of the pen, just something that you're able to write with. Okay? And then always have a book or other homework with you. The other homework could be something that's on your iPad, or it could be a hard copy of something that another teacher has you working on. Once you finish the work for my class, I will often tell you to work on something that is school acceptable. That means that you're working on something academic, not playing a game. Kind of going along with that, music is a privilege. I am definitely going to let you know when you're able to do a lab and listen to music at the same time. But if you're listening to music, let's say during the passing period, and you come into the room, once the bell rings to start class, your earbuds or headphones automatically are out. Your attention then is given to what is up on the board and what you're working on. So just because there is individual work time, that doesn't mean that you're putting in music to listen to. I will let you know when that time is allowed. Phones all the way across the board in the entire school. There are 2 locations. You are permitted to keep your phone, either in your locker or as you enter into a classroom, you put it into the pocket chart. It stays in the pocket chart till the end of class. That means that texting a parent is not permitted unless you have the adult or teacher's permission in the classroom. Okay? Don't pack up early. That is going to be a big one. The bell is for me to dismiss you on to the next class. 99.9% of the time, I'm gonna send you right at the bell, okay? But there's sometimes extra pieces of information that need to be explained, and I wanna make sure that I get everybody able to hear it, so don't exit as soon as you hear the bell. That also means don't line up at the door, don't start to stand up, just stay seated in your chair until you're given that time to be able to leave. All right, grading in PowerSchool. So your grade from my class is going to be weighted. 75% of your grade is going to be projects and labs. Those are the things we're doing here in the classroom, so they're going to be a big portion of your grade. Your bellworks and reflections, a lot of those are happening here too, but there's smaller pieces that come together to make up what we're working on. So those are items that are going to be a smaller portion of your grade. The PowerSchool codes that you're going to see that show up, which this could be new this year, there's going to be two possibilities. The first one, if you see LS, that stands for low score. That means that you might have done the assignment, but you didn't earn at least a 50%. Okay, the grade is raised to 50%, but that would be because the performance on that item did not reach up to that 50%. NHI stands for not handed in. That means that the assignment you didn't perform well on, and that your grade, or I'm sorry, that doesn't mean that you didn't perform well. That means that the item didn't get turned in. So with that, obviously, that means that you are missing something that needs to be turned in. With going along in there, any item that is submitted late gets a 10% late deduction. Okay, so if you earned a 90% after completing the assignment, it would then move to an 80% after if it was turned in late. Late doesn't mean that you were absent or sick necessarily. It really is applying to you didn't turn it in on time, you forgot to turn it in. However, on the days that you're absent or sick, the first day you return, you would need to make sure to check in to see what you might have missed in the previous day. If you wait until, a few days after you return, it is possible then that item could receive the 10% late deduction. So as soon as you return, always make sure to check back in and see what work you might have missed. All right, units we're going to be covering during this quarter. Our first unit is going to be an introduction to what engineering is and the design process. We're going to look at how the design process is made up, and we're going to also do a lab where you're going to be using the design process to design a piece of furniture. We will do one lab that is pertaining to measurement. So we'll learn how to use a dial caliper, which is the item you see in the bottom corner of the screen. We will see how that tool is read. We'll practice using it to measure different items. When we get into our design process lab, this is the one where you're going to be creating a piece of furniture. So we're going to walk through each step, and we're going to see how it's very similar to the scientific method, which I'm sure you guys have talked about in a science classroom before. Last unit, this is our fun one. This is what we call designing for production. During this time, you guys are going to be using CAD software to be designing and working on different projects on the computer. The CAD software we use is called Autodesk Inventor. And we have a full version of it, so it's a pretty cool program with lots of different things you're able to create. Here are some examples of student items that have been created. If you take a look in the top right-hand corner, you'll see the Alabama logo. This is what it looked like on the computer screen. Then after I printed it, you'll see on the bottom the bright red item. That's what it looked like after it was 3D printed. Here are a few more items, all views of what would have been on the screen. And that is our main goal by the end of this, is to be able to understand how products get engineered and then put you in the place of the engineer to start designing some stuff for yourself. I'm looking forward to a great quarter with you guys. As always, if you have any questions, come down and see me or send me that email.